Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Sakura is dead. There are 6 students left. One of them did it. So I'm gonna run through some thoughts real quick, just to make myself feel better before I investigate and inevitably get lost. Okay, so I started with who because I'm very interested in motives and who has the willpower to kill a behemoth such as her. It could have been Aoi. It could have been like a Mondo Chihiro type situation where she was killed in order to protect her, so that nobody else would kill her, to be released from this burden. But then again, there's still that hostage thing. Who was the hostage that Monokuma was keeping, and how close was Sakura to that hostage? I was thinking it could be Byakuya, because he's been openly antagonistic towards Sakura, but I find it unlikely because he's more the type to observe and, like, he's a chef throwing ingredients into a soup and watching it simmer. That's how I picture Byakuya. I don't believe he can murder without a way. I don't believe he would murder someone if he didn't think he could get away with it. I believe he's intelligent, I believe he's capable, I believe he's very capable of pulling it off without being caught. So, maybe. Yasuhiro, he hasn't said much, he hasn't been much of an important player in this chapter, but that doesn't discount him from being the murderer. Toko, maybe, but not Genocide Jill because scissors weren't used as far as I know. I'll have to investigate later, but maybe Toko, because of the conflict with Aoi, but I'm not sure how that connects to Sakura. There was that fight in the dining hall. That could connect somehow, but that was Genocide Jill, not Toko. It's hard to differentiate at this point. And then there's Kyoko, but there's no clear motive for Kyoko to murder Sakura directly, at least. And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about the how. The Monokuma file mentioned a death, a blow to the head, but I believe, if I examine this one more time, there is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. It doesn't say the death blow was a blow to the head. It doesn't say she died from a blow to the head. There was a blow to the head at some point. She was also vomiting blood, and I'm not a medical expert. I'm sure injuries cause that. I'm sure, like, medical conditions cause that. So then I got to thinking, maybe it was suicide. Or maybe someone convinced Sakura to commit suicide. So I was thinking maybe someone didn't directly kill Sakura, but someone was responsible for Sakura's death. And in that way it could be construed as murder. Yeah, maybe the killer left the room, or, well, convinced Sakura to kill herself, or killed Sakura, started the process, essentially, and then they left the room, and then Sakura locked the door out of, I don't know, shame or whatever, finality. She died with a smile on her face. She wanted to die. Then again, that's not confirmed at all. Then I started thinking about the locked door. Kyoko said it wasn't really locked, because there's no lock, but I don't know, maybe something other than that could come into play. There's 3 areas I know that are locked: the data lab, the headmaster's room, and the dining hall at night. This took place in the afternoon, so I'm guessing it wasn't the dining hall that was broken into. I think, then again, I'm not sure if that has anything to do with Sakura's death. Let's focus on Sakura's death for now. The rec room at 12 p.m. is 12 at noon. That's the time of death, that's not the time of the attack. What if the attack was earlier? You can skip ahead if you want, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm trying to clear my head, you know? What was used, there's also that question. Alright, yeah, that's all I got. So, let's investigate. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well...
Yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on him. Always hoarding candy. What a little child. Oh my god, I have to write this down. Bear with me for a second. You really like them that much? But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Okay, alright. There's this collection of glass. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red. And these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. That bottle inevitably came from there. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how they get those figures inside the bottles.
So...
It's no different from your standard chip in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the placed inside. You've never seen that? Oh, yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. I'm getting truth bullets like mad. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with the Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass in the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. But I don't think it was the killing weapon. It wasn't the killing weapon. Does this have any significance? The locker's open. And they're on the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locker room was opened, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Why not?
Hey.
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then... What does this handprint mean? My revolver is going to be filled to the brim during this class trial, and I'm going to fail it multiple times. Then again, I do have very little faith in myself. I should be more positive. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Inspect the body. Always inspect the body. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hasn't suffered any other injuries. So maybe it was a medical condition? Maybe it was induced by some medication? Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. I swear, if this turns out to be a suicide, or like an induced suicide or whatever.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I better go before he crushes my soul completely. Where's Kyoko? Oh my god, I completely missed Kyoko.
However,
But for Sakura to have been killed... Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
it's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder... Did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. Protein Zine X. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me. Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. What is?
Hey,
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. Why does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. What? Where did the glass come from? Did she swallow glass? Is that why she vomited blood? This is looking more and more like a really complicated suicide to me at this point. What do you got to say? Okay. You agree with me? Oh, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. Okay, when was this? What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. When I saw her again after that, she told me... She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Okay. So... Can only one... Yeah, one person can be the true Blackened, and that person has to be punished. You can't punish a dead person, so this couldn't have been a suicide. Maybe. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. It was Toko, Byakuya, and Yasuhiro, yes? One of them's here.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. I'm getting accounts from everyone. My god. Okay, this is a big one. This is a very, very big one. It's important to keep an open mind about this. You can't just be Byakuya and pin it on Sakura. Just be antagonistic toward everything related to her. Okay. Okay, let me see if there's anything else in here. That's a very loud sound. Clock. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon, so roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving Alter Ego? Didn't you take a nap? So it would have been when you were sleeping. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it have? How about the magazine stand there? That same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. Okay. There's nothing else to I should talk to people. Strong. How's the cable able?
Certain.
Okay, that's fine. This is fine. Not done here, eh? Not yet, Snake. There's a chair. What does the chair have to do with anything? Oh. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob so we can get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. My best guess is that Sakura used the chair herself and then just died here. And this section of the door is... Wait a minute. What? Yeah, that's very suspicious. Okay. Sakura drill is okay. There's the wrapper, there's the glass, there's the bottle, the locker, the blood stain. What? No, that's something else. The clock, the camera. This door is the only way in and out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only noticeable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening, and there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Rec room door.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then...
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Yasuhiro and Toko, let's get it. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. Thank you for teleporting me. Thank you so very much. You first, girly. I pressed the doorbell. Now let's remember that this, since the fight this morning, Toko's been in genocide Jill form. And after a few seconds, back to Toko.
Who's there?
The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you just wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she'd asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? Okay, so it's evident, or at least I'm suspecting, that these notes were delivered at different times and these people showed up at different times. And it all culminated at 12 today. So was this dispersed throughout the day or throughout the morning? I just said 2, didn't I? Guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Okay, so if Byakuya didn't go see her, and Toko didn't go see her, that leaves only one individual. Now, not necessarily that, it doesn't necessarily mean that he absolutely went to go see her, but it's all culminating to this moment, isn't it? I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually. I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. When did Sakura tell you that? When she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura.
You got it all wrong.
No, wait, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
Last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt, and I took her to the nurse's office.
don't look at me.
I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. So Yasuhiro's trying to, or attempting to, cover up his tracks, yet he has this key piece of evidence with him. And somehow I'm still not convinced that Yasuhiro is the murderer. I need definite proof.
What?
Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again, and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, if you excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Okay, so Aoi admitted that she took the entire box of candies to her room. So, did Yasuhiro and Aoi have some contact before this? Okay, so I've heard it from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Looks like we have some options here, eh? But it seems it is that time again. Thank you very much for watching. Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc is available on Steam and the Vita for $30. The sequel Goodbye Despair is also available on Steam and the Vita for $30. Please pick them up if you can. Check them out at least. They're very interesting. They pull you in. They're very engaging. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Toodaloo.